Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Dhyanaji.
Morning.
Welcome to everyone, and this is a new format that we are trying today. It's been 6 years that Dhyanaji has been continuing this program, and we thought at the beginning of 2026 it may be a good idea to see how we can make this program even more engaging and more interactive. So we can also invite a lot of questions from you all. Hope to see those as we go along. And the topic of today's satsang is tuning to inner guidance. And I will request Swami Dhyanaji to start, lead us with a prayer, and then we'll take this program forward.
Thank you, Natendra, and welcome everybody. Let's offer a prayer. Heavenly Father, Divine Mother, friend, beloved God, great masters, Jesus Christ, Babaji Krishna, Lahiri Mahashaya, Swami Shri Yukteswarji, beloved Master Paramhansa Yogananda Ji, beloved Swamiji, saints of all religions, we bow at thy feet. We ask thy blessings on this satsang today as we seek to attune ourselves ever more perfectly to thee. Bless us now and always. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Now we have a song and an excerpt from a talk by Swami Kriyanandaji, a video. Welcome again, everybody.
Listen, listen, whispering within your soul, hints of laughter, hints of joy, sweet songs of sadness, of quenchless yearning for the light, for my love, your true home. Long your heart has played the dance, long you've toyed with merest shadows of the treasures left behind you deep in your soul. Long you plumbed the dark for answers, long you've begged from beggars' empty hands, gifts of life they too were seeking, gifts none could share. Friend, how long will you wander? Friend, as long as you seek your home in a land where all are strangers, love locks her door. Leave to the weak his craven life, to the coward leave his dreaming. Oh, my saint, wake up, reclaim the light, seek the truth behind all seeming. Leave to the weak his craven life, to the coward leave his dreaming. Oh, my saint, wake up, reclaim the light, seek the truth behind all seeming. Turn, turn, turn within, in silence of soul, in cave of love, find my abode. Listen, listen, whispering within your soul, hints of laughter, hints of joy, sweet songs of sadness, of quenchless yearning for the light, for my love, your true home.
So if you want to be guided, listen to your heart. The trick is this. When you want to get an answer from your higher self, from God, whatever, this is the center of reason. That's why when people reason deeply, they tend to knit their eyebrows. The feeling in the heart, is the center of feeling and of intuition when the feeling is calm. Now, if you want an answer, put your mind here. When your mind is completely calm, then ask that question. Then feel the answer in your heart. If you want to commune with a great master, visualize him, visualize especially his eyes. And then when you feel totally concentrated, feel in your heart. You will find that that feeling, according to the different masters, it will be different because each one is a different ray of the divine in his manifestation. So when you pray to Sri Yukteswar, for example, Swami Sri Yukteswar was a master called him a Gyan Avatar, and you will feel wisdom. And when you pray to my Guru, you will feel joy and love. And each one, not just joy and love, but a particular kind. You will feel his consciousness there. I have found that consciousness guiding me again and again. When you use your intuition, you don't have to use your reason. You just have to hold your feeling, your intuition, up to that reason. And you will see that it will be guided. Reason, feeling should be kept in a state of reason. Reason should be kept in a state of feeling. When you combine the two, you will see everything goes well. And even the most simple tasks will somehow, the most mundane tasks, they will be right. And they will be intuitive.
Welcome again, everyone. So I'll just share a little bit, and then we'll go into some questions we have, and you may have questions too on this wonderful topic of intuition and inner guidance, which isn't something like looking into a crystal ball. It's nothing psychic. It's not astral traveling, or there's nothing strange about it. It's something that we all have inside, like we have a brain, we have a heart, we have feeling. We also have a soul's nature of what is right, of the answers and inspiration and guidance. It comes from uplifting ourselves into a state of higher consciousness. And every day when we meditate, we're uplifting ourselves in the state of higher consciousness. This is why that's a good time to ask questions. And beautiful technique that Swamiji gave, that look at the spiritual eye and ask there what your question is, and then feel sensitively in the heart. And then the next step, which Swamiji gives, these are master's teachings. It's not something that's outside of our teachings, that we have intuition. We need to use it, and we need to listen to that inner guidance. The third step is to act, not just listen and hear, but do something about it. And so we uplift ourselves, and then we take the first step and the second step and keep going forward. And we can think about this as, I was thinking in Master's life, he would use intuition probably just every moment, because he when he was in that place at the school, the storehouse, I believe it was, in Ranchi, he got images of where he was to go. He got the feeling Divine Mother wanted him to go to America. He saw places, he saw people's faces, and he left the same day. He went on that intuition, and he went and he started working on getting to America. And I think of Swamiji's life. He said there was a force, an actual force, that pushed him towards a bookshop to buy Autobiography of a Yogi. He had seen it, but he thought, no, this is, I don't want to buy this. And then some few days later, he was near that store again. He felt an actual force pushing him in that direction. He bought the book, he read it, he got on the bus, and he went to he went to California. Now, what happened to him? He was drawn by Master. He was pulled by his openness, receptivity, his desperation, really. And Master drew him to him. And I think of my own life that, and Swamiji said too, he didn't know anything about, and I certainly didn't know anything about yoga and meditation and gurus and karma and so forth and so on, and reincarnation and all that. But I read Master's book. I felt something. I said, this man, what he's saying must be true. It's unusual in my upbringing. I don't know anybody like him, but it feels right in myself, in my soul. And then I took one step. I started doing yoga postures, and I said, wow, this feels wonderful. And then I started going to Ananda, and I met the wonderful souls there. And I felt like these people seem true, honest. They have a clean life. And something was feeling, the vibration was the same. And it's like tuning in on a radio station. We tune in through the practices, through listening, through uplifting our consciousness, through doing the practices. And then I started meditating. I said, this seems right. I mean, it's not that I knew, but it felt right. Then I did chanting and I heard the chants and I said, this feels wonderful. And I heard Swamiji speak. And so what was happening? I was using my intuitive feeling part of saying yes, yes, yes. There wasn't a no. This isn't right for you. And I think for all of us, we need to develop it like a muscle instead of saying, no, just use reason. This doesn't make any sense. I don't know about karma. I don't know about reincarnation. I don't know about India. I'm going to do what I know. Well, you won't get very far because you're the whole part of you that's open, receptive, that's uplifted, that's wants to be in attunement and super consciousness and then cosmic consciousness. I mean, we want to uplift ourselves and tune in to answers, inspiration, everything that can guide our lives. And so if we cut that off, we're just using our mind. And the mind can get you in a lot of trouble. So these are the words I wanted to start with. And also saying that Master said this, that use this phrase in your life. I will reason, I will, I will act, but guide thou my reason, will, and activity. That means I'm opening up to the guidance to be able to use my reason, my will, and my everything to be able to activity, to be able to go in the right direction in my life. So now we'll have a few questions, and if you all have them, please put them in the chat as well.
Thank you so much, Dhyanaji, for introducing the topic. Right when you were talking about Swamiji getting this intuition and traveling to master, you have spent so much time with Swamiji, so you would have also seen Swamiji use intuition, Dhyanaji, right? So did he show some special powers when he used it, and how did you see him use the intuition?
I'm just remembering he didn't show special powers. You know, it wasn't psychic. It wasn't like he was going in a trance and no, I feel we should do this and never. He was very down to earth, very centered, very clear. There wasn't any foggy and people go, I saw something and I think it's going to lead me to this or that. That's not deep, true inner guidance and intuition. He was very clear. But I saw him in situations where writing books, he felt that energy just and thoughts just coming to him, writing music just coming to him, because he said he would go over to the piano. He said, I want a song, I want it to sound like this. And he played the piano, so he would just start playing. And he said many times tunes came to him that way. And I saw him in various meetings where he would say, I feel this might be the right direction to go in. It never was, I proclaim, I've heard it from the guru, you must follow me. And he said, let's try this. And typically he was going in the right direction. And so he used it in practical ways. That's another point I wanted to bring out. It's not just in my meditation, I feel master and he's with me, but you don't do anything about it. We have to be able to follow, act, bring it into our lives, use creativity, use initiative, because the thoughts, I mean, I heard Swamiji say many times he felt like he was sitting on a volcano. There were so many ideas and inspiration coming. And when people say, gee, I don't know what to do, I mean, I saw him in meetings where he was saying, what do you all think? And he wanted you to go, yeah, yeah, to tune into what he was tuning into, the divine voice, the voice of God, the voice of the gurus, to uplift ourselves. And he would challenge us. What do you think? Not, I have all the answers. So I think for all of us, the challenge is there in our family life, with our job, with every aspect, to use this part of ourselves and develop it like a muscle. That ask Master, what is the right thing? Am I on the right track? What is the answer here? What should I do? What would you do? What would Swamiji do? And I just feel like I'm just flooded with ideas, flooded with inspiration. But you have to want to work at it, work for it and work at it. I would say that.
Thank you so much, Dhanaji. So you took Swamiji's example and him using intuition, but he's like written 400 pieces of music, 100 books, and so on.
Yeah.
Not everybody does that. So is it that some people have more intuition than the others?
I think some people have more capacity because they've opened themselves up. And now I can say I didn't have any intuition, but when I came onto the path and I started meditating, I started doing the practices, I started asking Master to help me. I developed it. It was there, but it was hidden. And so I think someone like Swamiji, and then you think of some of it's not just the spirit on the spiritual path, but great musicians. There's wonderful books on Brahms and Mozart and how they tuned in and they went into a state where they saw the music, they heard the music, and they wrote it down. And there's beautiful stories of scientists like George Washington Carver and Luther Burbank, who talked to the flowers and listened to, what are the flowers? What do you need? I talk to my plants. They talk back, I need some water. So I think we need to really see that it's not just the spiritual life, but in every aspect, we can tune in to inner guidance and direction. And, you may think this is, I love what Swamiji said. He said, you can't go just straight ahead. You hear the guidance, I'm going for it. You might have to go right. Then the guidance is saying, now go left, call this person. Now call that person. Now go here, now go there. You have to feel it. And I remember once I was looking for a house for Swamiji. I've told this before, but it's a great story. He needed a place to stay, an apartment. It actually was a house. And I only had so much time. And I got our driver. I said, let's get in the car, because I just heard Swamiji's, he's not feeling well. He needs a place right away. And I drove right near the center in Gurgaon on that block. I said, he wants to be there. I know there's a house there. I've just got to find it. And we were driving down the street, and I didn't have my eyes closed. I wasn't, looking up, and, none of that. I was just, Master, Swamiji needs a house. We need a house. And we drove down halfway down the block, and I was praying inwardly, but I was sure. I wasn't like, I don't know if there's a house. Is there a house? I was like, Master, we need a house. It was like a prayer demand. Right there, I saw a sign, which you rarely see, for rent. And he only needed it for a couple of weeks. They had the phone number there. I said, stop the car. I got that phone and I called the number. Within an hour, I met the man. And then, we did all the things that needed to be done, and that became Swamiji's house. And then I moved in there after he left, and we stayed there for a year. So, but I jumped on it. I didn't say, gee, how am I going to find a house? I mean, can you find a house? I just said, Master, we need the house. And I put out the energy, and there it was.
That's really heartening, Dhanaji.
Yeah.
And I must say that this format is definitely working because we have questions flowing from so many.
Okay. Okay, I'm happy to hear.
Yes, the first one I'll read out, Dhanaji, is that sometimes we are graced by inner guidance, but it is in conflict with what we want. So how
Oh,
should we handle those situations?
yeah, I know about that one. I mean, what are you going to do? You have the guidance, but you don't want to follow it. Well, I'll tell you, you learn by your mistakes. So you can try not to follow that guidance, and you could be in trouble. And yeah, I've gone through that. And I said, I should have gone there, but I wanted to do my own thing, and I went over there. And I think you learn by making those mistakes. So, even if the other option is harder, which it typically is, this is right, but it's the harder road. This is easier. It's simpler. You know it. It's the old road you've taken all the time. But I found that if I try that other easy road that's not right, I just feel inside. And this is a good thing to remember. I felt inside, Master's not happy with this. He's not pleased. I might be pleased, but he's not pleased. There's a feeling in the heart that's like, no, don't go there. Don't do that. So follow that guidance. Even if you've gone wrong, feel, okay, Master, is this pleasing to you? Is this right? And if you feel no, do everything you can to go in the right direction.
Thank you, Dhanaji. Related to that is the question that how do I know that the intuition that I have received is actually an intuition and not some delusion of my own mind? Can I get it checked with someone or?
Yeah, that's a good question because how do you know unless you're already a master? Master was a master. So that's why he could leave that store room at the school in Ranchi and leave immediately and try to get to America. I mean, he was a master, but for us, I would definitely not say, I'm always right. I know, I heard it. My intuition is right. Hello, I wouldn't do that. Ask someone who you respect, then ask somebody else. And keep inwardly asking, what am I saying? Take one step at a time, is the other part of this. Don't just jump off the cliff. Take one step and feel it out. Like I said, I did yoga. Okay, I like yoga. Okay, this feels good. Then I did something else. Okay, this feels good. Then I Okay, I feel like meditation's good. Okay, these people look like good people. I just went step by step until I was on the path. And so any inner guidance, just say, okay, I'm going to take one step toward it, toward what seems right, and feel. Then take another step and say, okay, does this feel right? Yeah, okay, good. Then take another. And then that's when I was saying you might need to go in another direction. But at least the energy's flowing. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is people will sit on it. They sit on their intuition and don't do anything and say, I'm afraid I might make a mistake. Better to do something. Just take a small step and see how far you go and see if it feels right. But doing nothing isn't really an option.
Thank you, Dhanaji. So we've discussed intuition a lot, the way it came to Swamiji. He met Master. Master went to the US. So and Swamiji created music. So a lot of these are very positive examples where intuition helped creativity and so on. But at times in our lives, we are also in sadness. So how do
Yeah.
you come out of a mood when, let's say, when I'm down and I need intuitive guidance? Because at that point in time, I do not seem to get any help. So how do I tune in such situations?
At those kinds of times, it's good to get prayers from others. Really, let's be realistic. How are you going to tune in to inner guidance when you're down? Your energy's down, your consciousness is down, you feel heavy, you don't feel there's any answers. I certainly have been there. And that's when your guru bhais really can help you. They can pray for you. For as long as needed. And then I think my mantra is Master, help me. Even if you don't know what to do, where to go, you just can't pull up out of it. Master, help me. And I'll tell a beautiful story from my own life. Once when I was really battling something, I went to Swamiji and I told him, and I was about to leave for America. I'll shorten this story. And anyway, he asked me what I would be doing and all that, and I said I told him. So then, anyway, at a certain point, I just felt so out of sorts that he saw I was sad and I was going through a hard time. So look what he did. I go to America and I'm still like battling. You're battling delusion. Let's face it. There are forces, satanic forces that try to keep you down. And maybe it was trying to keep me from living in India. I don't know. It was at the very beginning. And I was trying to get here and there was so many forces against it. And one day I talked to one of my friends who was still in India, and she was living in Swamiji's house. So I was saying, yeah, I don't know if I can come back. I'm still having a hard time and whatever. And then she said, Swamiji's come in the kitchen. And I said, please don't give him the phone. Please, just don't do it. I just was so out of sorts. And she said, so the next thing I hear is, hello, Diana. It was Swamiji. I just felt so bad. I just didn't want him to see me like that. But he needed to see me like that. So what he did was, and I'm sure they were signaling him, she needs some energy. So what he did was he didn't go, oh God, you poor thing. He just said, tell me what you're doing there. How are you using your time? And he was so up, every time he asked me something, my energy went up. And I said, well, Swamiji, I'm reading some of the books. I'm studying your books. He says, which one? My energy rose up more. And I said, well, I was reading this particular book. What did you like about it? And he just kept working on me. I said, well, I kind of like that part. He said, why did you like it? He was helping me to get up. And then after he felt that, okay, she's okay, he said, okay, bye-bye. And he just hung up the phone. And so this is what I mean by others can help you. And then by the time he was done with me, he never said, I'm sorry you feel bad or get out of the mood or anything. I felt fine. And then my intuition came back. So at times you need help from others to come out of those situations and feel God talking to you again.
Thank you, Danaji. It is so heartening to hear these real world stories of your.
They're real, definitely. I mean, they're real. It's not like no one goes through difficulties. We all do, but we help each other, and the techniques help us, and the gurus help us.
So, Danaji, the other thing is that you've given a lot of real practical examples. So, does it mean that we can use intuition not just in your spiritual life, but also in our jobs, talking with our families, not just in challenging situations, but perhaps whenever
Yeah.
we feel any need to in our daily lives, whatever we do?
I'm going to tell you an amazing story now that just happened to me. And the answer is yes, yes, and yes in all situations. But you've got to be tuned in. You've got to want answers and not close your mind. So just the other day, I'm here in Pune, as you know. So I was at the Pune Center. I had given a class there. And then I came out. And by the time I had finished talking with all the different students, most people had gone, and I was planning to sit there and chat with people, but people had left. And there were a couple of new people there, and I thought, well, they were talking to the center leader, so I thought, well, let them talk, and so I said goodbye. So listen to this. I walk out the door with Vasudeva. He was with me. So we walk out, we're getting our shoes on, and then I turned to him and I said, I don't think I should leave right now. He said, okay. So he looked at me kind of strangely. He said, but that's fine. So we go back in and I sat down and the two new people were getting a tour of the center. So I told someone that I have a cup of tea. I'll just sit for a minute. Now, within about 10 minutes, a couple comes in that I knew. I didn't know them well, but they were about to take discipleship at the center. There was a discipleship initiation coming up. They were going to take discipleship. And they were an hour early because of various things. So we sat and talked, and and everything. And we had a really nice conversation. Then I said, okay, I'll just go on home. So I go on home, and then I was telling Vasudev, I said, this is important. It's important to talk with new disciples. Just getting on the path and all. He said, yeah, it's important. And then I said, let's call, the center and say, when they have discipleship ceremonies, we're happy to come and chat with the disciples afterwards. He says, okay, I'll call them. So he calls them, and the center leader, Amit, says, yeah, that would be a great idea. So he hangs up, and then we're chatting. And then I love it. Vasudeva says, he says, why are we waiting? Why don't we go back over there now and talk to those people? And the new disciples, I said, yeah, let's go back over there. So we end up going back over after their initiation, and we sit for a whole hour, story after story on discipleship, meeting the people, getting to know them, they getting to know us. And that was not my idea. It never was. This is intuition. It told it. I followed it. Go back in there. Sit down. The couple came. I went back home. More intuition. You should sit with the disciples, and let's sit with them now. Going back. I just thought, wow, this is how life should be lived. We ask Master to guide us, help us, tell us what to do, but we have to listen and we have to follow. And I hope you all will have in their family life and your job and everything, just keep listening, keep asking, Master, is this right? What do you want me to do? How do you want me to spend my day? Who do you want me to call? Who do you want me to talk to? What do I do with the kids today? I mean, just make Master, as I said earlier in another talk, make him your best friend and just talk to him all the time. And you'll find that some really things that that wasn't your idea. Where did it come from? It came from Divine Mother. It came from the gurus. It came from Master. Isn't that a beautiful story?
Absolutely, the energy is so powerful. And that too started just while you're wearing your shoes, not like meditation. And
Yeah, really.
wow. The energy, we are up on time, but just one final question. We do not want to end this intuition at 8:30. So how do I keep my intuition flowing?
Yeah, like a muscle, I said, you have to be using it. So now, how can you use it starting now, today? After you meditate in the mornings, just put some thought out. How can I spend my day? Or if you have a question about your job, some project, what is the answer to that? Or you've got a dilemma in the home. What is the best way to solve this? Who should I talk to? What I'm saying is, don't talk to yourself and don't keep getting on the phone. Talk to Divine Mother and put the questions out there. Every day, put out some question and then sit long enough to feel, okay, what Swamiji said was weigh things. Weigh, is it this option or this option? Which one feels right? And then go forward with it. And so how do you strengthen it? You have to use it. And you have to be wanting to use it. And the receptivity and openness you get from meditation anyway, you get from chanting anyway, you get from our path and studies anyway. And I'll leave you with this one fun thing to do, which I do with intuition. I opened some book of masters or Swamiji. So now I'm working with conversations with Yogananda. And inwardly, I just say, Master, talk to me. What do you want me to know? And it seems like every time it's something I really need. And he's saying, you need this. So, and that's just a very simple thing. You can do it any time of the day, and you find him talking to you. And so try these things, and I think you will find that miracles start happening. You really start getting guided. Instead of your will, it's thy will be done in my life. Instead of your thoughts, I want, my thoughts, I want your thoughts. Let your thoughts be my thoughts. Let your guidance guide me in my life. And then you find that things become much more fluid, much more beautiful. Instead of this, This is the way I've always done it. I'm always going to do it, and it will always be this way. In fact, only yesterday did the idea of changing this format come. Now, how did it come? It wasn't our idea. I think Divine Mother wanted it changed. It was like, change the format. I could have said, nope, nope, we did it this way all this time. We can't make any changes now. So just be open and be fluid. Keep talking with your people you respect and making sure you're on the right track. And I'm sure you will find this inner guidance, working with your inner guidance, really a joy. Joy to all of you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Natendra, and we'll see everybody next week. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, Anji. Thank you everyone for the support.